seeing here. Right now, I just kept a scale and drawn the line in such a way that the line is close to majority of the point. How should you draw the line? You must draw the line in such a way that it is close to majority of the point. I cannot draw the line here. When I draw the line here, then the line will have a lot of error. When I draw the line here, then also the error will be too much. When I draw the line close to the points, then the error will be minimum, right? So this line is called regression line. The equation is called regression equation, and that is what you are seeing here, the bottom. There are easy methods, simple mathematics can help you to derive this equation, but weight gain, your y variable, is equal to a constant called regression, called the constant term, plus a coefficient multiplied by x variable. This coefficient is called regression coefficient. This is your response variable, and this is your predictor variable, and this is called constant term, right? And now regression can indicate the direction of relationship, can indicate the size of relationship. See here, how regression can indicate the direction of relationship. Look at the coefficient. Is this coefficient positive or negative? Positive. This coefficient, is it positive or negative? Come on. All of you know what is positive and what is negative?
Negative.
So it is positive. So relationship is positive. Do you see the curve? Do you see the curve going up, line going up? As x increases, y increases. But I don't have to see the curve now. If I know regression, looking at the coefficient, I can speak better. Relationship is positive. And what is this 0.46 is telling me? 0.46 is telling me when I increase the x by 1 unit, y will increase by 0.46 unit. Clear? When x is increased by 1 unit, y will increase by 0.46 unit approximately, so that you know what to do with the x so that you can get the desired y, right? So sign of the coefficient is helping you to understand the understand the direction of relationship, and the coefficient represents the change that can happen in your y variable if you make changes in your x variable, right? Regression coefficient. What is regression coefficient? This is regression coefficient. In the second equation, there are two factors. X1 is one factor, X2 is another factor. So how many coefficients are there? Two coefficients are there, right? And this is called a constant term. So again, if the same thing is explained again. 0.4631 helps us to estimate the change in weight gain when the individual changes the calorie consumption pattern. What is this called? This is called regression coefficient. And the first equation is simple linear regression. The second equation is called multiple linear regression. Why do I call this as multiple linear regression? Because there are multiple factors involved in the equation, right? When there is only one single variable involved, it is called simple linear regression. When there are multiple factors involved, it is called multiple linear regression. And then residual. You need to understand residual. Residual is nothing but the deviation. See here, the red color dots are nothing but the y values with respect to certain x value. And now I draw this line in such a way that the line is close to majority of the points. Even though I keep the line like this, still there is an error in my study. Still there is a deviation. None of the point is exactly on the line, isn't it? Every point is above the line, below the line. Only this point seems to be more accurate. The next accurate one is this, but this point has a lot of deviation. This deviation is called residual. If you have more deviation while assuming the line, what will happen? Your model will be weaker. Your model will be weaker, right? And so residual can be positive, residual can be negative. See here, as far as this point is concerned, what is the observed value? 380. Observed value is 380. But we assumed that this point is lying on the line. We pulled this point and made it lie on the line, and then we drawn the blue color line, and we have derived the equation of the line. So our regression equation have some deviation, will have some error, and that error is because of the deviation. So every point has got some deviation, am I right? Every point has got some deviation, and the average of the deviation is nothing but standard deviation. Am I right? Every point has got a deviation, and the average of the deviation is nothing but the standard deviation. You want the standard, you want the deviation to be higher, or you want the deviation to be lower?
Lower.
What is your requirement?
Lower deviation.
It should be lower. If it is lower, my equation will speak the reality better. My equation will speak better about the reality. So ISRO predicts the position of the satellite very accurately. Am I right? Tomorrow morning, 4 o'clock, the satellite will be in that particular position. Exactly, it will come to that position. How come they tell the position of the satellite sitting in a control room? They have the blue equation of the blue color line. Same way, you can predict what can happen to the weight gain if the calorie level is at a particular value. So it all depends on the deviation. The average of the deviation is standard deviation, and that standard deviation is needs to be as low as possible so that your regression model can work better for you. So we move on. Similarly, for another point, this all for the points below the blue color line, the deviation is negative. So deviation is also called as residual. So residual can be positive, residual can be negative. Ultimately, what we want is we want all the points to be closer. If all the points are closer, you will see your R square improving. You will see your R square improving. You will see the standard deviation coming down. So what can make your regression a great model is higher R square value and lower standard deviation value, right? Or lower residual. And now regression model can be several models. Now I want to introduce you to 3 models. See here, now the points are arranged in a specific pattern, and the pattern is more or less like a straight line. So now linear model will be a best fit. You can now consider a linear model to frame your equation. You know what is a linear model? The equation will be like this: y equal to ax plus b. Hope all of you have studied this, right? In your schooling itself. We could have studied it as y equal to mx plus c. Am I right? Y equal to mx plus c. Where what is m? M is the slope of the line. M is the slope of the line. C is the y-intercept, right? Or C is the y-intercept. Let me show it. Suppose, let's say you have a straight line. Right? You have a straight line. I want to find out the m. Let's say I want to find out the m. At any point, I will draw a line, a horizontal line, a line parallel to x-axis. And now I will also draw a vertical line. Now this is del x. Will you be able to measure the length of the line? Possible? Yes or no?
Yeah.
You can measure. You can also measure the vertical length of the line. Del y, and this is del x. Now, can you find out the ratio del y divided by del x? Possible? Come on. Yes or no?
Yes.
That is nothing but this. We studied it as m, where m is nothing but the slope of the line. Slope of the line is nothing but this thing. Theta. Slope can be obtained using this ratio del y by del x. Or otherwise, tan theta, opposite side by adjacent side. Tan theta, what is opposite side? Del y. What is adjacent side? Del x. So either you can do manually or you can rely on softwares like Minitab. And then this is my y-axis, this is my x-axis. When I extend the line, where this line meets the y-axis, whatever point my line meets the y-axis, that is nothing but a constant term. Here it is given as b, but what we studied in school is a standard form, y equal to mx plus c. So c is called the y-intercept, the point at which your line meets the y-axis. So it is called y-intercept. You know m, you know c. Will you be able to frame this equation? Come on. You now be able to frame the equation?
Yes, we
M
can.
is known, c is known. You can write the equation yourself. This equation is called regression equation, and this is a kind of linear model. Why did I choose linear model? Because my scatter is telling me that the relationship is linear. Plot a scatter diagram. Visually check it. Yes, it is linear. So I will go for a linear model. Suppose if my scatter diagram reveals a kind of parabolic relationship, I understand the relationship is quadratic. What is quadratic? A second degree equation. Y equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. You see x square coming in your equation. Why the x square comes? Because the curve is not straight line now. It is like a curve. It's a curved line. It is a parabola. It is a parabola. And sometimes what happens, if you visualize the pattern, it is going up, coming down, again going up. We call it cubical. The moment you understand there is up and down and again up and down, this kind of things happening, then it is cubical. Right? This is called cubical. So whether x should come in your equation or x squared should come in your equation or x cube should come in your equation, the secret lies in your scatter diagram. Clear? You know what is scatter diagram? Scatter diagram is one of the 7 basic QC tools. Isn't it? Scatter diagram is also one of the 7 basic quality control tools. That is why every company must try to use all the 7 quality control tools so that when the problem really becomes deeper, you will be able to better understand and solve it. Now, for the same problem, weight gain, calorie consumption, the data is available. And now I have done the regression analysis. This is the scatter diagram, and this is the regression line, and the equation of the regression line is available here. You can find it the way I explained, or you can ask you can use Minitab to generate it. Right? That is an easy job. You can do that also. And see here, the Minitab output is visualized here. Weight gain equal to minus 154.6 plus 0.461 into calories consumed. Now, calories consumed is the predictor, weight gain is the response. What is this value called? What is this value? This is called?
Regression coefficient.
Very good, regression coefficient. This is called the constant term, nothing but the y-intercept. Nothing but the y-intercept. All right, and now this is very important, model summary. Model summary. Do you see the R square value here? R square is how much? 94%. When R square is 94, that means the model is really strong. You can control the weight gain by controlling the calorie consumption. Isn't it? Controlling the calories will definitely control the weight to an extent of 94%. How do I know? Looking at the R square value. Please note, you must use statistics very wisely. You must use any knowledge very wisely. Whatever statement I am making is true only for the population from which the data is collected. See here, when I go back, these data came from this person. He is the person who studied for the calorie consumption and weight gain over a period of 3 months or something. So this analysis will be helpful only to understand the particular individual called Mr. X. Can I use this finding for another person? It may not work, isn't it? So the data came from a population. Now the population is this individual. So all your findings will be valid only to that individual. So that is why sample selection have to be very, very careful. Sample can only represent the population. So your findings can be applied only onto the population from which data is collected. All right, now R square is 94%. Look at the S value. What is S? Somebody, can you tell me? We discussed about S. What is S? S means
Standard deviation.
standard deviation. We want the standard deviation to be as low as possible. If your regression model summary gives a higher standard deviation, then your predictions will be very wider. Your predictions will be very wider. What is prediction? For example, if the exam is conducted for all of you coming Saturday, what could be the score? Will you be able to score somewhere between 70 to 80? Yes. Will you be able to score?
Yes,
60
yes.
to- Yes, definitely, right? If I say you will score from 0 to 100, I'm sure you will start laughing at the statement, isn't it? Because everybody is going to score between 0 to 100. Why are you not able to make your interval wider, narrower? Because your study, has a lot of deviation, and as a result, if the deviation is more, the prediction interval will become wider and wider. If you don't want to have a wider interval, wider prediction interval, see to that your S is reduced in the study. How can you reduce the S? You can reduce the S by going for more number of readings, and then going for conducting the experimentation in a realistic way. If there are deviations in the way you conduct the experimentation, S will be more. If the number of factors are less, S will be more, right? And that's how the R square is helping you, S is helping you. And there is one more thing called predicted R square. This predicted R square, if it is close to R square and if it is close to 100%, you can use the regression equation to predict new observation. To predict new observation. See here, how much will be the weight gain for calorie consumption? I have so much data. What is my predicted R square? 92%. So I want to understand if this individual consumes 1,850 calories consistently for a week, how much weight gain will happen? I want to know. Do I have to do a repeat the experiment for 1 week once again, or can I make use of the equation? I can make use of the equation. You know why I am saying I can make use of the equation? The predicted R square is really good. When your predicted R square is really good, you no need to do experiments for each and everything. Your equation can get you values close to the experimental value. You now understand how the predicted R square is helping you, and I will show you how you can make use of Minitab to generate similar regression report. So see here, the p-value is always needs to be studied. And same problem, hydrogen content and porosity. So I plot I plot the scatter, then I derived the regression equation, and see here, this is the equation. Significance is also there. But now what is your inference here? R square is 39. What does it mean? It means
Only 39% influence.
only 39% influence. That means the number of factors considered in your study is not sufficient enough. If you control only this factor, only 39% of the problem will get solved. That also, I don't know whether your approach can get you all 39% result, right? if you make any mistakes, and 39% might finally end up with solving the problem only to the extent of 30%. So there is a clear indication that you must add more factors in the study. If you add more factors, if you add more factors, R square will improve. If you add more relevant factors, adjusted R square will improve. If you conduct the experimentation, sampling everything correctly, predicted R square will improve. But right now, if you ask me to comment about this regression equation, I will say this model is very, very weak. Why? Look at the values: 25%, 30%, 30%, and the S value is 0.17, maybe 0.17 grams, right? So I need to actually strengthen my study and then see to that I get R square at least 80% and above. If the R square is 80% and above, I'm at least sure that 80% of the problem gets solved through my study. All right. So what do we understand here? We understood that correlation helps us to predict the presence of linear relationship. Correlation coefficient will range between -1 and +1. And Pearson correlation coefficient is very, very sensitive to outliers. Better eliminate or remove the outliers, and then you calculate your R value. And significance of correlation must be always confirmed with the p-value, right? And strong correlation doesn't imply a cause and effect relationship, right? So, but it gives a strong suspect, no doubt, but always common sense should be applied, right? If you fail to apply the common sense, sometimes all the statistical study may give an inference, but still the inference may not be real, when you actually connect to the real-time scenario. So you have to be very careful. I'm not saying that don't use statistics. Use statistics, but never fail to use the common sense, right? That's more important.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, now okay. I changed the headset. So my question here is,
Mhm.
what are the outliers? Like, if you could give some example in the data, what could be outliers?
Okay, I want to just to give you, you quickly understand. I give this example. I want to understand how effective, the training program is. How effective the training program is. And now the effectiveness of the training program will reflect in the marks secured by the students. Am I correct?
Correct.
So I refer to the individuals, I refer to the marks, and one student got 100 out of 100, and few students got marks in single digit. And now I calculate, let us say I calculate something. I calculate average. Do you think my average will reflect the real effectiveness of the program?
No,
Why? You know why?
because 100% student is come with your in your sample.
Those who scored 100% is also there, and those who scored in single digit is also there. Can you tell me why these few people scored in single digit? Because they were not attentive. Am I right?
Right.
Because they were not very sincere, and then they were not very participative. There are many reasons. They have not aligned with the system. So they got such a mark. If I include those marks also in my average, do you think my average will help me to understand the effectiveness of the program?
No.
But a majority of the students scored around 70 marks. But those marks which are around the 70, that is the real effectiveness of the program. Am I correct?
That's right.
So how do I know? So only by eliminating the outliers on both sides. Any value which is far away from the average is an outlier. So outlier should be removed to before making any conclusion in a statistical study. Similarly, when you are calculating the correlation coefficient also, look at the data. If some data is far away from the other data, what does it mean? It could have been due to measurement error. Am I correct? Or it could have been typo error, or it could have been, due to a special cause in the system. So outlier should be eliminated, removed, and then only you must do the statistical analysis and make conclusion. Got it? And regression is a technique to generate an equation, mathematical equation describing the statistical relationship. Six Sigma team can make use of the regression to investigate the suspected relationship. Use the equation as a prediction model if the predicted R square is higher than 80%, right? Because once you develop a prediction model, then you can minimize your experimentation. Otherwise, what happens? Every experimentation will be a costlier thing for the company. And regression results indicates the direction, size, as well as the statistical significance. The regression coefficient estimate the changes in the response variable for unit increase in the predictor variable, right? Regression can be used to model linear, quadratic, and cubic relationship. So that's it. So any questions you can ask, otherwise we'll see